Hey, this is Pastor Dustin from Messiah Lutheran Church, and I am here with the weekly first thoughts of the week for this Sunday, which is, what's the date going to be? Uh, the 29th of March, and it's going to be Palm Sunday slash Passion Sunday, which is the very beginning of Holy Week, which is the week leading up to Easter, where all sorts of different things happen. It's sort of really the most important week of the whole Christian year. So there's a lot going on. I'm a little sleepy. It's been pretty busy gearing up for Holy Week. At Messiah, we have worship services every single day of Holy Week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of Holy Week at 7 p.m. Maundy, Thursday at 7 p.m. is always Good Friday at 7 p.m. Easter Vigil at 8 p.m. on Saturday, and then, of course, Sunday, Easter morning. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because this video is about my first thoughts on the texts for this Sunday. Now, this Sunday is kind of an odd one because there's sort of two separate texts. There's sort of the traditional story of Jesus coming into Jerusalem, kind of almost right before he is arrested and then crucified. That's, when the people lay out palm branches for him and that sort of thing. We always celebrate that Palm Sunday. Kids get to wave on the palms. We make the little crosses out of them, all that sort of stuff. But then also it's Passion Sunday, so for those that can't make it out to church during the week especially, we read the whole Passion narrative, which means pretty much the whole story of Jesus' arrest and betrayal and crucifixion. So a couple brief thoughts. And they both are related. Both the texts this Sunday have a lot to do with God making things happen in our lives that we don't expect and sort of us pushing back in some ways against what God might be calling us to do in our lives. So, for instance, the Palm Sunday narrative, it's all these people that are so excited to see Jesus coming into Jerusalem, and they put down the palms on the ground like he's this big Davidic king and the similar to King David in the Old Testament. And they're so excited about this, the King of the Jews coming to conquer Jerusalem or something. But they get disappointed. That is not the sort of king that Jesus is. Jesus doesn't come to conquer and kind of a ruler in the way of King David, but rather to, forgive us of our sins, to free people, to liberate all folks, not, throughout the world and throughout time. And so, so on one level, there's, I think, some disappointment, and that's probably why a lot of the people that threw the palms on the ground and were excited about Jesus coming once they found out kind of what he was all about. There may be the same crowds that are cheering for Jesus' crucifixion later on in the story. But one other point that I think is especially what I wanted to talk about today. So the whole Passion reading, we're reading the whole Passion according to Mark. And there's one part that's unique to Mark. It's the only, as far as I can tell, funny part of the Passion story according to Mark. And it is, you may have never noticed it, or maybe you've just kind of awkwardly listened to it when it's read in church every year. But that is in Mark 14 and verses 51 and 52. And it goes like this. A certain young man was following him, wearing nothing but a linen cloth. They caught hold of him, but he left the linen cloth and ran off naked. So that's why you have a naked young man running around Jerusalem in the Gospel according to Mark. That scene happens right after Jesus' arrest. So Jesus is arrested in the garden, where Gethsemane, where he's praying and all, just like always. But there's also this sort of random dude that just is running around almost naked and then just kind of strips naked and runs away. And we never exactly hear from him again. In the Gospel of Mark, it's not necessarily an angel that's in Jesus' tomb at the end of the story. It's a young man in a white robe, so maybe it's the same young dude who found some more clothes and, has a brand new white robe, and it's not an angel. But it's kind of an odd just thing that's I'm pretty sure only in the Gospel of Mark, this random dude running away naked. So what does this have to do with God doing things in our lives that we don't expect? I think all of us at times are pretty much like that young dude running around naked. It's probably someone that was interested in what was happening in Jesus' life and was expecting a certain type of change in the world to come from him, and then panicked and was disappointed when he found out what Jesus was really about and really doing, and runs away naked, completely vulnerable. And I think we do that a lot. A lot of times God is doing all sorts of crazy stuff in our lives and calling us to all sorts of amazing things, but scary things. And we have a tendency to just drop everything and run from those things. So that's just something to, discern about and think about is God calling you in any aspect of your life to do something amazing, but perhaps a little scary? And the more we can not be like the young man and run away naked, probably the better. No one's going to be perfect, but so that's my question for you this week is what might God be calling you to do in your life that might be a truly amazing, freeing thing, but really scary as well. So that's my first thoughts for the week. I'll be having first thoughts, a lot of them this coming week, because I'll be talking about every day's gospel message throughout the week. And so I look forward to seeing you in a couple days. And have a good one. God bless.